Development Corporation has served Leimert Park and surrounding communities, empowering tomorrow's leaders and changing lives. Parkside EDC has awarded over $400,000 in college scholarships while sharing economic principles of the Big Five of money with students and their families. Parkside EDC partners with organizations like the Brotherhood Crusade to assure our youth have the financial acumen to succeed. Parkside EDC provides families and businesses with financial insights, offering free online, on-site, and on-air B-Warp presentations. The Black Wealth Attainment and Retention Programs helps our community acquire, sustain, and pass down legacy wealth. High school seniors can apply for this year's scholarship awards at parksideedc.org. Scholarships will be awarded at Parkside EDC's Gospel/Jazz Brunch on Sunday, April the 27th. For details, tickets, or donations, please visit parksideedc.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not too unsettled. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Let's do this. We got a lot to cover. We do. So, what day is it, Miles? It's Thursday, right? On a Thursday. This is how we do it. Hour one, we look local, what's going on the left coast side of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or a person of interest or some combination thereof. Today, of course, it is both. In fact, I am wearing this beautiful Afro-American, African-American jumpsuit thing. Jump 333, as she calls it, in honor of our final hour guest, poet Ronnie Girl. We'll look at her life, it'll be a bit of a profile, her journey as a poet, a prolific one at that, but also as a fashion designer. So I'm wearing this in her honor. And we've got the phone lines open all day long. I think you know that. I love to hear from you. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Shout out to the world stage. Me and Miles stopped through there last night in support of Bluesology, Gil Scott-Heron's Bluesology, to meet the cast and hear some poetry. And so it's a poet's world right now, poet's life. And it was nice to see everyone. Great to be there at the world stage and in support of the work, more of the work that's happening here in Leimert Park, where we broadcast from. So thanks for welcoming us in. And of course, today is the Hawthorne Business Expo, which is Going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope to see you there. It's not too late to register. It is free. You go to hawthornebusinessexpo.com. .org, I think. Yeah. And it starts at 3 p.m. Goes till 7. Come for part of it. Come for all of it. It is going to be a lot of fun, but also an opportunity because you get to meet people like the Small Business Administration's head director for Southern California, Julie Close. She'll be there and really get questions answered about how to do better for your business, expand it or level it up or get it started. Also, you can meet people that you might want to do business with. There's a lot of networking. There are panel discussions, really great lineup of guests. So hopefully we'll see you there. I'm going to be moderating. And of course, the Mayor Pro Tem of the city of Hawthorne is the host of the whole thing, Katrina Manning. We will see you there today. Right now, though, this hour, looking forward to, well, this conversation. Young woman joining us on the phone. She's a student activist, and she's an organizer with the California Faculty Association. She attends Cal State Channel Islands, and she hails from not too far away from here, I believe, South Central, as we used to call it, Los Angeles. AngelMarie Taylor, welcome.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, KBLA.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for waking up earlier than usual with us. I don't know if it's earlier than usual, but it is. It's definitely a school day, so I appreciate your waking up and joining us on KBLA this morning.
Of course. Thank y'all so much for having me. It's a huge pleasure.
Well, yeah, we want to, stand in support of you, and we want to stand in support of all of the student activists who are really facing things that I never thought I would see, just in terms of the pushback to your activism. Obviously many years ago, I was a student activist and we did all kinds of things. We occupied the chancellor's office and the dean of this and the dean of that. We would do sit-ins where we wouldn't move, and we used to get yelled at, but not threatened with expulsion or jail or impact to our careers, the kinds of things, deportation, the kinds of things that are happening now. But yet in this environment, you continue to protest. Tell me what drives that, AngelMarie.
Yes, of course. I started organizing right when I started college at 18 out of necessity. As a Black student, it was made clear right at the beginning that the institution that I attended was not serving me. At Cal State Channel Islands, there is a especially charged situation with anti-Blackness here. So when it came to advocating for myself or to my community, it was always out of necessity because the administration has a habit of neglecting our community.
Yeah, I heard you say on a call that there's some very low percentage of Black students at Cal State Channel Island, which makes it, essential for you guys to be united and stay in touch.
Yes, ma'am. We currently make up less than 2% of the population here at Cal State Channel Islands.
Wow, and in a community that's has a much larger Black population, right?
Yes, ma'am. In Ventura County, we hover around 7% of the county, so less than 2% for the only state university here just doesn't make sense.
That's astounding. I mean, 2% is tiny, tiny, tiny. So tell me what's happening right now. You've been organizing with the Black Student Union there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So talk to me about, how you ended up getting, or how you believe you ended up getting targeted by the university, not just the administration, but also the police.
So when it comes to addressing any of like our student rights or worker rights that we feel like are under attack here, we always do it with a coalition type of approach. It's our Black Student Union partnering with our MECHA, partnering with our Students for Justice in Palestine, partnering with our Students for Quality for Education. We always do this as a united front just to make the bigger impact to help students and the community recognize that these issues affect more than just one group. And despite that, in all of these united efforts, only the Black student organizers are ever given disciplinary action as a response to our participation in organizing. So, for example, when we had a coalition addressing the increase in tuition, many student organizers were trying to draw attention to this because increasing the tuition would have made it even harder for Black students, undocumented students, or Indigenous students to access higher education, and we're fighting it for that purpose. Now, when fighting that, only myself and the only other Black student activist on campus faced disenrollment without due process. That is one of many examples of retaliation that we alone had to face as a result of our student activism.
That's insane. So how does that get told to you? I mean, how did you find out that you're facing disenrollment or other disciplinary action?
Normally, we would find out with a disciplinary notice via email to our student email account. However, when we were disenrolled entirely, it was without due process. So he and I were actually sitting in the CSU Board of Trustees chamber. We were talking to them, and we just happened to check our phones during this meeting. It was the day after the protest. It made nationwide news. It was on Fox. It was on ABC. The day after that, we received these emails just saying that we were disenrolled from the university, and they were claiming that it was for failure of payment, even though he and I made all necessary payments months in advance. We ended up taking the issue to some labor unions that we had partnered with because the university was not offering us any assistance, any explanation with this. And when our labor unions were able to reach out to campus administration, immediately our enrollment was reinstated. And to this day, we still have never received an explanation, never received an apology, and it postponed both of our graduations by at least a year.
That's so scary. So you just look up one day and you're disenrolled. No process of warnings or, multiple notifications. And then you're suddenly re-enrolled with no explanation either?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. What do you do at that point? I know you're rallying. You that was creative to appeal to the labor union to help you with this situation. But, what are you doing? You can't go to class, right? You can't participate in campus activities.
Yes, ma'am. Both of us were barred out of student resources that we paid for, not just that semester, but also for the following semester. So in terms of trying to keep up with our education, because that's what we're here to do at the end of the day, it was difficult. It was difficult for both of us. I have to be honest about that. I graduate next fall, but I should have graduated a year ago, and that's something that I wasn't able to do because of that. It had an impact on not just my educational process, but it also had an impact on my career. It also had an impact on my livelihood, my job. It affected everything.
Yeah. How did you feel during that time? How did you stay strong?
This was also during the same semester that I was pulled over on campus 12 times. There are 16 weeks in one semester, so that's almost 1 week a semester I was being pulled over on campus.
By the police, to be clear, by the police?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. So at this point in time, I was feeling especially overwhelmed by the retaliation because it was coming from both fronts. It was coming from campus police and campus administration. It was really intense. I feel like everywhere I had to watch my back. I was always saying in therapy sessions, I don't feel safe here. I don't feel safe on campus. It's not being taken seriously. But that next semester is when I had the honor of sitting alongside other student activists for our Gaza Solidarity Encampment for Palestine. I feel like, again, that our united front, our coalition, and continuing to do this work alongside other brave students is what gives me motivation to continue going, because we're fighting for very necessary things out here.
Yeah. Talking with AngelMarie Taylor. She's a student at Cal State Channel Islands in Ventura County, who is also a community organizer, protester, being targeted for her work as an activist, which seems very unconstitutional and anti-Black. We're going to explore what's going on now and how she's moving at this moment in the middle of an increased threat level from the federal administration and their policies. You're welcome to call in if you want to join the conversation. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and we're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality, because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial, because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining, where you're praying for a miracle, and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is, we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077. 800-919-9077.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do you do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now. We're talking with AngelMarie Taylor. She's a student at Cal State Channel Islands. Sounds like you're on track to graduate in the fall, so congratulations. I think a lot of people would have crumbled under that kind of pressure, being pulled over by the cops, the actual police, 12 times. In one semester, the same semester where you were mysteriously and suddenly disenrolled along with another black student activist, and had to go seek outside help from a union that you're moving in solidarity with to get re-enrolled, but still haven't received an explanation. I think you're pretty brave. You keep protesting anyway. And now you've been threatened yet again, but it seems like from what I was picking up last time I spoke with you, it looks like they're backing off of the threat to expel you. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. After there was a statewide mobilization from the California Faculty Association, Labor Union, Black Lives Matter Grassroots, Black Lives Matter Los Angeles, and several student organizations such as Black Student Unions and SQEs from other CSU campuses, after they publicly announced solidarity with me and what I'm experiencing, publicly condemned the anti-Blackness happening at California State Channel Islands, and publicly condemning the attack on our free speech over here. They all ended up also coming to our campus for an in-person action. The day of the action is when I received an email from the Dean of Student Conduct saying that I am not facing potential expulsion, which is language that wasn't being used previous to that action, previous to the solidarity. So people power definitely did win, but I still am under investigation. The charges have yet to be dropped. So it's a big win, but there's still work left to do.
How did you feel seeing the labor union, the Black Student Union, Black Lives Matter, and all these folks rolling up for that action?
I cried. To be honest, I cried a couple times. It was the most powerful action I think I've ever participated in. It was so charged with love and with Blackness. We've never had that many Black people on campus ever.
Yeah, people ever. Just rolled up in buses and cars and bicycles, whatever. They just rolled up. Yeah, that must have shaken the administration a bit. If they're used to operating with impunity and targeting the 2% Black student population on that campus.
Yes, ma'am. They definitely were scared. The day of, one of the major roads on our campus was blocked off for the day. Normally we get those notifications a week, a month in advance. We only got this one 2 days in advance. In addition to that, the politically active student clubs and organizations received threats, email threats from our dean of students, accusing us of hosting this unregistered event, and that if we got caught hosting this event or participation in this event, we could be facing violations in time, place, manner policy. Our Black Student Union especially was the most targeted out of all of the politically active orgs. And this is just the week of the action, so we definitely do agree that they were intimidated, that they did try to pull these stops, but it didn't work. We held our action anyway. It was powerful and it was beautiful.
Okay, talk to me about this time, place, manner violation. What is that actually? Is this, this is something that only applies to students? Is this system-wide? Speak on that.
This is a system-wide policy, the time, place, manner policy, that pretty much tells the campus community how it can and cannot behave when we're on campus. Normally, it's supposed to apply to anyone, students, faculty, our staff, even community members. However, after so many CSU campuses held our encampments for Palestine last spring, they changed the time, place, manner policy statewide that following summer and enforced it on the entire statewide system without due process. So our unionized workers, so our faculty, our staff, and our student workers are actually supposed to be exempt from this new brutal time placement policy. And I call it brutal because it took away our rights to protest altogether. There is now no instance where we can safely use amplified sound on campus. We don't even have the right to assemble anymore. We lost that. So if you're in a group with anyone and it's about 20 to 30 people and it's not like an approved event, the police do have the right to come up and disperse us or charge us with a potential violation. We're not allowed to have encampments on campus anymore. We're not even allowed to be caught carrying a tent in our backpack on campus anymore. It's a truly brutal policy, so brutal that, again, our unionized workers are supposed to be exempt from it. But as we saw from our labor coalition action on April 1st, I was targeted and harassed by the police and then charged with a violation anyway. I am a unionized worker. I do work on campus. I am supposed to be exempt from things like this. And even still, I am facing repression. I am facing retaliation as the only Black person who spoke at that rally that day.
It seems so blatant. Has the university responded to the specific charge of anti-Blackness?
No, ma'am. Every single time we try to bring this issue up to administration or skip campus administration and go to statewide management or trustees, board of trustees, there has been no acknowledgement, nothing other than performative public statements to audiences that don't even include their Black constituents.
We only have a minute here till news, traffic, and sports. We'll keep talking on the other side. One thing that you said that really fascinated me was that you guys have, as you know, a small campus in Ventura County, a small population campus, you guys have a lot of cops on your campus.
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, we do. Amidst this budget crisis, a $17 million cut, our UPD, our campus police, still receive over $3.5 million annually. We have a Center for Mental Health on campus. It's called CAPS. Our CAPS Center barely receives $1 million annually. Our small campus is only about 4,500 of us. We only have 5 counselors, but we have 27 cops. And to kind of compare that to numbers at other CSU campuses, the population ranges from 10,000 to 20,000 students. The average ratio of cops per student in the CSU is 1 to 500. At CSU Channel Islands, it's 1 to 150. We have the most inflated ratio in the system.
Wow. Talking with student activist AngelMarie Taylor and you, I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Alexandria Icamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. FEMA is reportedly losing about 20% of its staff right before hurricane season. There's been reports that roughly 1,000 employees, including Black employees, are expected to take the buyout as part of Elon Musk's Doge team. Southern California Representative Robert Garcia is in El Salvador to advocate for Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Abrego Garcia was deported in what the White House said was, quote, an administrative error, end quote, but has since said he's a member of the MS-13 gang. Snoop Dogg is looking to have a lawsuit filed against him and Death Row Records dismissed. Lydia Harris, the Black ex-wife of Death Row co-founder Michael Harris, is accusing Snoop, Suge Knight, and several record labels of failing to pay her $107 million related to a 2005 court order. And many Black daughters and sons are at work today for National Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day. Get BIN News on demand at BINnews.com.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. Our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
At Exquisite Family Mortuary, we know how overwhelming it can be planning a meaningful farewell for your loved one. Secure your peace of mind by calling Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. 5562. From traditional funeral services to memorials to direct cremation, pre-needs, and more. Call Charlotte White at Exquisite Family Mortuary for Southern hospitality in Southern California. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. Exquisite Family Mortuary is located nearby in Inglewood, California. Exquisite Family Mortuary, where your loved one becomes our loved one.
Is this the tiger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The best first-round series in the NBA playoffs resumes tonight at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Clippers and Denver in Game 3. The series is tied at 1-1. Game 1 was decided by 3 points in overtime. Game 2 resulted in a 2-point win for the Clippers. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. The 3-day NFL draft jumps off tonight in Green Bay. The Chargers have the number 22 pick in the first round. The Rams' first-round pick is at number 26. It could be a milestone night for HBCU college football. Alabama A&M offensive tackle Carson Vincent is a potential first-round pick. The 6'7", 314-pound native of Morrisville, North Carolina, impressed NFL scouts at the Senior Bowl and Scouting Combine. Vincent would be the first HBCU player chosen in the first round since 2008. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, a defensive back from Tennessee State, was selected at number 16 by the Arizona Cardinals. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
After producing an award-winning climate justice campaign in 2024, KBLA Talk 1580 has gone all in on its 2025 Climate Justice plus Black Health Initiative. April is Minority Health Month, and Urban Family Focus, in partnership with Providence Health Systems, presents The Heart of the Matter. Providence doctors and health equity officers will participate in informative and life-changing conversations on hypertension, health equity, behavioral health, and community engagement. Don't miss these empowering conversations on Urban Family Focus every Saturday in April at 7 and Sunday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sponsored by Providence, Southern California's largest and most comprehensive health care network. We've got a lot to talk about on KBLA Talk 1580. Download the KBLA 1580 app or log in to KBLA1580.com. I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach, on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Who among us doesn't like black music? But Kendrick is right. This moment is so much bigger than music. These are serious times. We've got serious problems, and we need serious people who understand that slogans are not solutions. When you want substantial and sober analysis about things that matter to you and the ones you love, this is where you turn. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're talking with AngelMarie Taylor, student activist at Cal State Channel Islands, also a worker there, who has been facing all kinds of things that I would label harassment, jeopardizing her academic future and even impacting her career simply because of her activism. This has been something that's really dismayed me, AngelMarie, all over the country, because I feel like that's what students do. Students protest. Students, was one of the things we do in college is figure out what our values are, what we care about, and the things that are worth standing up for. And when you describe this manner, place, and conduct, it sounds like some repressive regime. You're not allowed to assemble. Isn't that in the Constitution? I'm sure they're saying it's a private institution and that's why they can get away with it. But to me, it sounds very unconstitutional and problematic. We have B. Bell of Bad Dog Bullies in the YouTube chat saying, "Where's Ben Crump?" I understand you have had, as part of the actions and pushback that you guys have been doing, that you actually do have some legal help at this point.
Yes, we do. Because of how much public attention the retaliation has gotten, thankfully, a lawyer has offered assistance. So we do have legal support, and we also did have legal witnesses present at the action on Wednesday as well. Just because, we can't be too careful out here. They could try to charge us with anything, even though it didn't actually happen.
Right. It sounded like there's been some intimidation of certain faculty and staff as well, like advisors to the BSU and stuff. Are you observing that?
Yes, ma'am. The advisor for our Black Student Union, as a response to the threats that we were getting, accusing us of hosting this action, this solidarity action this past Wednesday, our advisor was sent by the Dean of Students to surveil Black Student Union members at the action with the instructions to, quote-unquote, make sure we don't break any property, that we don't cause damage or vandalize any property. We were the only student organization that was accused or suspected of having this kind of behavior. Again, targeted, again, discrimination. Of course, that didn't happen. That's not in our nature. That wasn't the point of the action. But that is an example of how our staff members are being affected as well. Also, it's now at the repression is so intense that it's no longer just students. We are now seeing our professors, our faculty, receive letters of reprimand from campus administration for their participation in the April 1st action against layoffs, for their participation in the April 16th action against violations on our free speech. So it's affecting the entire campus community at this point.
Talk to me about some of the kinds of things you've been protesting. I mean, you mentioned, Palestine, but it's more than just that, right?
Yes, ma'am. The first protest our campus ever had was with our student orgs, and it was fighting for survivor rights. It was a Title IX reformation campaign because our Title IX office is severely underfunded, is severely understaffed. It was at the point where it wasn't functional anymore, and our survivors were coming out of these indescribable nightmare-type experiences and then not receiving any support afterwards. There were even some cases where students would experience assault or harassment, go to Title IX, and end up in a more dangerous position than they were before they had gone to Title IX. In 2022, we had the highest rate of cases per capita in the entire CSU here at CSU Channel Islands. So fighting for survivor rights was something that we had fought for. We also worked with URGE, Unite for Reproductive and Gender Equity, to pass Senate Bill 24, which makes medicated abortion accessible to all college campuses in the state. So we also were advocating for reproductive rights. We have, of course, advocated for a free Palestine. We found out that our tuition money is being invested into the genocide at the same time that our courses are being cut. So that is another thing that we're fighting. We have also been fighting for cops off campus for years as a response to the anti-Blackness and harassment that we're experiencing here. And it led to the successful passing of Assembly Bill 1997, which looks into alternatives to policing on our college campuses.
That's got to feel good. I mean, the victories have to feel good, considering it sounds like you're in an all-out battle out there just to protect your own ability to get an education and get a job after you leave there.
Yes, ma'am. It feels empowering to be able to do this alongside other fighters. We have a fighting community here at CSU Channel Islands because we have to fight for anything that we need out here.
To be clear, I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I think the rhetoric that we're hearing right now, or the narrative, I guess I'd say, from the mainstream media is that student activists who are being targeted are all migrants. And you are not a migrant. You're from South LA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, how are your parents responding? How's your community responding? Does it feel like you're hearing that other Black activists who are citizens of this country are being targeted? Does it feel like a one-off? Like, how are you responding to that?
I definitely feel a sense of duality in that narrative. I think the same way that we're talking about how xenophobia is playing a role in how student activists are being targeted, how Islamophobia is playing a role in how student activists are being targeted, so is anti-Blackness. It shows itself in different campuses. Every campus has its different approach. But at CSU Channel Islands, anti-Blackness is the tool that's being used. And I know that I'm hearing similar stories for Black student activists happening at CSU Los Angeles. I'm hearing similar things for Black student activists at UCLA. It's definitely not isolated to just those things. It's a wide range of tactics.
And, I also want to point out something that I heard you say, and it's not just you. I've heard this from other students, which is we, as Black activists, change makers, influencers, journalists, whoever you are, as Black people, we sometimes fall into this media narrative, or maybe it's a political narrative, or both, that there's a lot of, that everything is compartmentalized. You're either discriminating against Black people or migrants. You're either, you're discriminating against women or LGBTQ plus people. And that's just not the reality of life. Life it's messier than that. There's more crossover. I was talking to Bryant Odega on Monday for Earth Day. He's a son of migrant parents. His parents are from Nigeria. His dad was deported in front of his eyes when he was 7, but he's a Black man teaching and advocating, defending Black children and Latino children in schools in Los Angeles. You're a Black student, Black American student from South LA, but your dad's African American, your mom is Filipino, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And she's faced some threats from I guess ICE or some DHS or somebody, right, in the past.
Yes, ma'am. My identity is definitely where more of that duality shows. Yes, my father is African American, but my mother, she was born and raised in the Philippines. She was an undocumented immigrant, and she is a deportation survivor. She was deported right before I was born here in the United States. So there is that intersectionality, just as you said. It is messy, it is complicated, it's all of these layers. So that's why I really want to push the message that people shouldn't look at these different things as if they're isolated. They're all connected. They're all part of the same tactic, which is overall repression on our voices, period.
Molly Bell says, God bless to our young sister. Thanks for protesting and protecting our rights. The university is so scared of this administration. I'm sure that you and other students there are feeling the love and feeling support. Of course, Black Lives Matter Grassroots brought this to my attention, but as you've pointed out, it's a coalition of many, many other organizations, both student organizations and off-campus groups. How does that change the game as far as how the students are moving? Are you seeing other student groups and outside groups standing in solidarity with Black activists on a day-to-day basis? Because it sounds like you guys all protest, and then the Black students are the ones, the Black organizers are the ones that are actually seeing the repercussions, the consequences. And so are others standing with you through that, for the long haul and highlighting this discrepancy of how they're not being targeted in the same way that you guys are?
Yes, ma'am. The mass support from everyone has made the biggest difference here at CSUCI because we're so tucked away, because we're so far away from everything. A lot of how we feel is that they're able to get away with everything because not enough people know about it, not enough people see it. But with all this attention on campus and us raising awareness around the targeting, student organizations that normally don't get political, for example, our men's soccer club has joined the Students Against Fascism Alliance. We're seeing all the solidarity pop up from different corners of the campus and from the local community that we hadn't seen before. Because with these most recent incidents and with the repression getting worse and worse for our Black student activists, more people are understanding that kind of solidarity is necessary at this point, and folks definitely are stepping up.
I love that. The men's soccer club is now standing with you guys. That's the kind of mobilization that, as you just stated, it's going to take for at least the next 4 years and probably much longer than that. We're talking with AngelMarie Taylor, and you're always invited in. 800-920-1580 is the road to speak out, or you can go on YouTube, KBLA 1580. That's where we congregate and the conversation takes place in the chat. Some breaking news I just wanted to mention. A Southern California judge convicted yesterday of second-degree murder. Judge Jeffrey Ferguson of Orange County, remember that? He's facing 40 years to life in prison for the murder of his wife in what prosecutors called a drunken argument. So this, I'll say white judge, this elderly judge from Orange County, it has been convicted. And that is remarkable that he all but confessed and then changed his mind and put up a robust defense. But he has been found guilty. We will continue our conversation with AngelMarie Taylor when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
LA property owners, join us to house more veterans. By accepting veteran housing vouchers, you will receive guaranteed rent while providing a stable and safe home that will make a difference in their lives. Help house our heroes. Expedited processing and dedicated support for property owners is available because every veteran deserves a place to call home. Email houseuurvets@lacity.org, HOUSEOURVETS@lacity.org for more information.
I feel so alone.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it.
How can I help my kid if I can't help myself?
I can't remember when I wasn't stressed.
I don't want you to inside.
When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts and emotions, it's okay to get help. You are not alone. CalHope is here for you with free, safe, and confidential mental health resources for youth, young adults, families, and you. Find support now at calhope.org.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are, and so grateful that you are here today. Hope to see you later this afternoon at the Hawthorne Business Expo. It's taking place from 3 to 7 in the city of Hawthorne, hosted by Mayor Pro Tem Katrina Manning. It's at the Hawthorne Memorial Center, 3901 West El Segundo in Hawthorne. You can register online at hawthornebusinessexpo.org. You could also call them 310-349-2913. Rance Dobson, the producer and CEO of 1500 or Nothing, is on one of those panels, and I will be moderating. Hope to see you there. Talking now with AngelMarie Taylor. She goes to Cal State Channel Islands. She's a student, let's not forget that, an activist and an organizer, but also a student who is trying to get her education. How have your parents been with this? Are they have they been supportive? Are they freaking out? Like, what's going on with your family?
My mom has been through a lot, so you can imagine when I was younger, 18, 19, she was really against me advocating, and she very much has that kind of mentality: keep your head down, keep to yourself, accept things the way they are. It was something that I had to work with my parents on for a few years, just, trying to help them that I'm trying to envision a better world for us and for our community. And, I want them to believe in the same thing. And I'm happy to say that they fully support me in everything that I do now. They trust that I know what I'm doing. She'll still do that prayer over me.
That's a true community organizer right there. She flipped her parents over to her cause. I mean, look, if they say, sweep around your own front door, and what is it? Think locally, act globally. No, think globally, act locally. It doesn't get more locally than your own house. So good on you for turning that around. And your mom, after being deported and, and everything she's been through, I can understand why she would be fearful. Did you ever think, you know what, maybe I should just keep my head down and get my degree so I can go get paid?
Absolutely, yeah. That thought definitely has come to mind, but I think even the thought of that is a privilege in society today. The conditions at our school and the conditions in society are so bad that I actually can't just keep my head down and go about my day. Most people my age can't do that.
Because you have to struggle to get the things that you need to move forward? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. We have to advocate for ourselves, for our classes not to get cut. Otherwise, we can't graduate. And, so many students here at CCCI are dropping out or disenrolling themselves for that reason. Or the way that our cafeteria is getting cut in half at the same time that the Trump administration halted food donations to our county's food pantry. So we have to advocate for food. We're having to advocate for job positions to stay open. Many of us come from blue-collar families. We need to work at the same time that we're going to school just to stay afloat. So we have to advocate on that front. It really does feel like we have to fight for everything in our daily life just to get by.
I was going to tell you about 40 minutes ago that you don't have to call me ma'am, but something tells me you would do it anyway. So you can just call me Dominique, but I appreciate the spirit of that. You're getting a lot of support in our YouTube chat. Easy Courtney says, I think these students are some of the best in struggle with their brave heart and soul. Ashe, young sister, peace and power to you and the students. And we're hearing a lot of that this morning. How can people support you? And how can we follow the work that you're doing and make sure this isn't a one-off? Like, we're having a conversation today. We're talking for an hour. That's great. But I definitely want you to keep in touch. We can talk again, even if it's a quick check-in or a longer conversation, or other folks that need to be brought into the conversation. I know there's a lot of us who have been activists for a long time, and we want to stand with you. We want to make sure it is clear to the administration, the police, and the world that you are not alone.
Thank you so much. Ashe to everyone in the chat, and to you, Miss Dominique. I think the best way to kind of support the situation for what we're dealing with here at CCCI, a lot of our updates, a lot of our call to actions are posted on our Instagram. Y'all can follow us there and stay in tune there. It's going to be SQE.CCCI sque.csqci on Instagram. But the next best thing that y'all can do, please help share our story, even if it's verbally. If you know any youth, any other students, whether they're in college, whether in high school, please let them know the reality of our situation when they're stepping into activism, and let them know the reality of the situation when they're stepping into education. We're at a point now where we're having to fight in our educational institutions just to be able to graduate. I think the more people are aware of this, the better we're able to step into this with each other.
Yeah, Michael Bird says our future is in good hands. Paul Lee co-signing that 100%. And Molly says it's ironic that your name is AngelMarie Taylor. We've always been amazed by ironies. Come on, Angel, you were named just for this time. That's what she says. So I want to encourage folks on Instagram, sque.csqci, to follow along. And if there's actions that you're asking from the community at large, we'll find them there?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else you want to push back on that you're hearing in the mainstream media narrative about student activism and the work that you're doing?
Yes, I would love to speak to this really briefly. A narrative that I'm seeing in the media around student activism is that it's justified because of students' participation in pro-Palestinian efforts. I want to make sure at every point that I'm dismantling this narrative. One, the repression under students right now it can never be justified. Like you said, Ms. Dominique, it's what college students coming here to do. We're learning critical thinking skills. We're learning how to apply it to the real world. So if that's resulting in protest, it's resulting in that way for a reason. We're doing all of these things for a reason. The repression is not justified, and it can't be attached to terrorist accusations for advocating for a free Palestine. All of the organizers who are advocating for a free Palestine are also advocating for cops off campus, are also advocating for ICE off campus, are also trying to defend our students who are having their visas revoked, are also the students who are protecting our Black student leaders who are being targeted as well. Everything truly is connected, and that's how we're seeing it on the college front. And I really hope that anyone watching or listening can also see it the same way.
Yeah, very well said. Imagine this. I mean, there were other terrible tactics like killing people and spraying them with fire hoses. But if you imagine this level of repression, what happens to the protests of a Martin Luther King, of a Malcolm X, of a Rosa Parks? What we're talking about is the gains that we were able to make through protests disappearing because of the criminalization of the people that are pushing the line on progress, which has always been and probably always will be young people. So I just want to call on all of us to stand with you. And I want to call on you, AngelMarie Taylor, to turn to us when you need us, because we are not going anywhere.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for the love, for the support. I promise you, we feel it over here, and it is making a difference. Thank y'all.
God bless, and stay strong. I know you are. It's a perfect time to call me. Let's talk about this. 800-920-1580. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Alexandria Icamoni with 4 things you should know from BIN News. FEMA is reporting Abrego Garcia was deported in what the White House said was, quote, an administrative error, end quote, but has since said he's a member of the MS-13 gang.